Sometimes the remarkable is questionable by some because often it is accompanied by challenge. One of the things that is happening right now that seems odd because so much of it is occurring all at once is one of the most remarkable current events possible. It's starting in certain freer countries like yours and beginning to extend to others which have been closed for a long time. How do I describe this? What kind of dark activities are you seeing exposed that seem to be universal with humanity? That is to say, things that have always existed that were inappropriate. Things that were dark, but you couldn't do anything about. You knew were there, but the authorities could not help, the government could not help, and yet it was always there. Some said that those things were all funded by those in power, including governments, so you never could touch them, but they were always there. Suddenly, remarkably, all over the planet, and especially in societies that are free like yours, these things are starting to shatter. Some are looking at society and they are wringing their hands because they watch the media and dark and ugly things are being exposed. And they say, what is this planet going toward? This is awful, this is ugly. And they go away depressed and thinking that it is indeed the end of things. However, the truth is this: these are things that were always there, but not revealed. What happens when you have something that is ugly and dark and horrible that you really haven't known about and suddenly it is on the news? You say it's new. Well, it isn't new. You say perhaps, well, it's new to me. Indeed it is, but it has always been there. There are so many of these things that are starting to fall, dear ones, and many more to come. And it's all part of what I started to tell you about the remarkable things in the first channel. Remarkable because these things never were exposed in hundreds and hundreds of years. Did you know that the Greeks and the Romans had sex slaves as children? In other words, child sexual slavery in those cultures. Did you know that from their cultures all the way to modern society today, that still exists? Are you aware of how that actually works? And most would say no. They exist mostly for the elite. Did you know that? And therefore the elite will keep the secret, and sometimes the elite will make sure it's funded well. Therefore you have something unconscionable going on. One of the lowest things that you can imagine in consciousness is happening on a daily basis all through this planet. It is everywhere. And yet, suddenly it starts to raise its head. Thousands of years, dear ones, with the same thing in societies. Why now? Why now would it start to be seen when those in power are in control of it? That is an oxymoron. That is counterintuitive to the times. And yet it begins. Lately, you got to see it, even in your own country. It begins all over the planet. But what has occurred just with you is rampant everywhere. I told you about this some years ago.